what you want to achieve personally and what you want to achieve with your business. Different things. Now, you can call this session a goal setting session, a vision. Sometimes people get really frightened of the word goal because only 97% of the population actually do set goals properly. So if you haven't set goals properly, it's okay, you're in the norm. Most people don't. But for you to be successful, I would recommend that you do think about goals. So, just want to talk about what goals can be. Your goals must be yours, all right? Not your spouse's, not something because of your kids. And when you let other people determine your definition of success, you're sabotaging your own future. So make sure it's what you want. You know, sit down and think about, why am I doing this? What do I really want? All right? And we'll talk about more of that sort of thing in a minute. But your goals must mean something to you. It's got to mean something to you. So, and they can be big and they can be small. They can be short term, they can be long term. All right? So you can say, I want to do this in a year, I want to do this in 5 years, I want to do this in a month, I want to do this in 2 months. They can have a different time frame to them. And your goals must be very specific. You know, I don't want you to say, I'd love to go overseas. I mean, what does that mean? Do you want to go overseas this year? Do you want to go in 10 years? Do you want to go to New Zealand? Do you want to go to Europe? So when you say a goal about something, be specific about it. We'll come back to that too. Vague generalizations are often just wishy-washy because it's just a wish. It would be, I wish I could go overseas. Whereas if you set a goal to say, I want to go to Italy in June next year. All right? Your goals can be flexible. Things happen. So don't go, oh God, now I can't do that now because of this. You can bend them a little bit. So if something comes up, something happens, or you might get sick, or something gets in the way, it can be changed. All right, so don't think it's got to be really fast in there. A flexible plan keeps you feeling, if it's not flexible, it can make you feel suffocated. All right, so be very careful of that. And make your goals challenging. Now set yourself a challenge, especially after a day today. You know, you're going to go home, you're going to feel all, and it's so easy in this environment because you're surrounded by like-minded people and you're feeling great, but isn't it easy to go home then in the house and you're back being a mum again, or back being busy with another job, and suddenly it changes. So just remember how you're feeling today when you're setting some goals, all right, in this space with these people. Your goals must be well balanced. Make sure you include areas that allow time to relax. So you haven't got to be focused on it all the time. Like, you know, you've got a goal, you set a goal, but you know, you can also think about other things. But they must be very realistic. So for example, you know, you can't say, I'd like to sell $1 million in the next 6 months. Is that realistic? Probably not. So just stop, and always when you've written a goal down, stand back and say, right, is that challenging? Is it realistic? Think of all those things. Your goals must be supported, so share them with people. I mean, years and years ago when I went to, I don't even know the rent, like smoke enders, I let everybody know I was going to smoke enders, I was trying to give up smoking. Because it was encouraging. People will encourage you when they know you've got a goal. And they will support you, so let people know. Let the people who care about you, not the ones that go, oh, you won't be able to do that, that sounds a bit too hard. So be supported by the right people. All right, so you can ask yourself questions like, what do I want to do? What do I want to have? Like, you know, and that doesn't have to be materialistic either. Where do I want to go? So, and that doesn't have to be a destination. It can be, do I want to advance in the career plan? Do I want to go overseas? It's going to be all sorts of things. Where do I want to go with my life, or where do I want to go in a car, in a train, on a plane? I don't mind. Where do I want to live? You know, how many homes do I want to have? And you might be sitting there, I'll be just happy to have a home and pay that one off, and that's fine too. But you know, isn't it great that Angie can stand up here and share and feel really great that she does the successful finance and she does help to pay the mortgage. And that does make you feel good. Because then you know what? When you're doing that, the husbands are more likely to chuck you out the door because they can see the money coming in. You know, it's true though. They need to be seeing the money. What do I want to learn, and from whom and where? And Rebel's touched on this today. Like, seriously, guys, if there's one thing you should do, I was still talking to Jeanette at lunch. There's so many videos. Just go in the back office. You cannot delete anything in the back office. Just go in. There's videos galore in there from people who talked at conferences years ago to ones that, we're going to have new videos probably from Saturday's session in Vegas next week. So what do you want to learn? And there's so many great books. I mean, there's books that were written 30 years ago on party plan, and exactly the same thing in party plan is happening now as it was 30 years. Nothing has changed. Host coaching hasn't really changed. Bookings, all those things are the same. Party plan has stayed the same. We knew great when we all started, it's exactly the same. But learn it, and there's so many places to learn it. And if you're not sure, ask, where can I find it? Because once you found it, you'll see so many. How much do I want to earn, save and invest? That could be something you want to think about. So these are the questions you can ask yourself. And what will I do for fun and optimum health as well? And I think after listening to Rebel today, I just wanted to add on to that, it's not there, but what are your non-negotiables? Like when you set a goal, what's non-negotiable on there? Almost put NN next to it, like we do net and non, but you put now no non-negotiable. Alright? So, when you read anything about goals, it will say for it to be specific, which I've mentioned, so it's really got to be specific. So it means I want to go on a holiday and I want to go to, you want the destination and then you want a time frame and you want to know when you want to go there. Alright? So there must be specific. If you want to lose weight, I want to lose 5 kilos. They're measurable. So, being measurable is just that, I always read that, you make a goal and you think, well, you can't change that, but think of goals as a bit like when you're playing soccer and the goalpost. Something can go wrong, you can make the goalpost a bit bigger if you need to. Alright? They've got to be attainable and you can keep at them. They're not going to be so hard and think, you know what, I think I just made that too big. So before you set it, think, can I really do this? Can I attain this? Will I be able to achieve this? Alright? And to be very realistic. We all got different lives in this room today. So what one person can do, someone else can't do because they've got different things happening at home, whatever they're doing. Some people work full-time jobs as well and they're doing this as part-time, some people are doing this full-time. So just make them realistic to your lifestyle and time frame. It's so important to put a date on it. You can't just set a goal and say, I'm going to go and lose weight. You're going to lose weight in 2 years, 5 years or 2 months. You must put a date next to a goal. And again, remember, it can be changed. It's not the end of the world if it wasn't achieved. But don't think, well, if I don't make it, it doesn't matter. But put a date there to aim for something. It's a bit like Rebel was saying, you can't throw the arrow and hope it lands. You can't go on a yacht, just hope the wind will take you wherever. You've got to have some sort of destination where you're heading to. So always think of analogies, think of destinations. Where do I want to end? Where do I want to be at the end of this goal? That helps you think of a time frame and things as well. So today, now this is something that's in the back office actually, and it was done in a seminar in Vegas or Chicago, and it was about setting goals, and it's like, how do you sit in a room today, and sometimes it's a very personal, private thing too. I don't want to share my goals with everybody. They might think that's silly. Look what she's writing down compared to what I'm writing down. So what we're going to do, we're just going to have some fun today so you can practice this. Because when they did this session in America, they're saying to print 10 sheets with 10 numbers on it. So you write down 100 goals. Now, those goals might be, just to give you an example, I'm going to make sure I get up at 10 minutes earlier every day. They haven't got to be, they might be, I'm going to make sure I do listen to a video every day. I am going to be, we've done this session at lunch before with Angie and some of the girls, and one of them wrote down, you know what, I'm just going to be a bit nicer to my kids. Sometimes I shout at them. I remember what you wrote, I do, it's interesting when someone has their goal and you do. So writing today, just for a bit of fun, is to do 5 personal goals and then 5 park lane goals, okay? And you can discuss it together, people can help you. But when you go home, and I don't know how many of you are going to do it, but I'm just throwing it out as a suggestion. But when you have time quietly to sit down, when it's raining and you can't go out anywhere because the rain's coming, so put some music on, have 10 of these sheets, which we'll email to you, and just write 10 goals. Now this is often a great thing to do with your children. Come and help Mummy write down 10 things that what we all do a bit better. Well, Mummy, you could let me use my iPad for 5 minutes longer, or do you know what I mean? But there could be silly, crazy things. But if you do it as a family and your children learn as well, so they don't all have to be part lane. So So I want you just to have a practice really today, but also to be realistic. So you've got what the goal is. There's a piece of paper in the middle of the table. Write down if that's family, business or personal. So it could be a family goal, and the date that you would like to achieve that goal by. So for example, if you're going to write down something about your kids, I think, I'd like to be more patient with my children. That can start today. That's the goal, is to start out today. I say about my husband all the time. I don't think I'm a nag, but someone will think I do nag, and I think every day I make sure I finish the day with that we're happy. That's the goal for us. So we always make sure, So I'm going to leave you for 10 minutes, and you can share at the table, because sometimes it's good just to throw things out there. So just do 5 personal, ensure that 5 of them are part lane. Reflect back on this morning. What are some of the things that you've learned already? Like you might think, I'm going to take on board what Angie said about the jewellery. I'm going to take on board what Rebel said when she did her talk today. The styling, some other styling tips that you've heard today. And then if you want the big, what's it called, the big frog, or what's big frog? Yeah, the really big aha moment.
Right.
Like write down some of the big ones. I want to go to Ireland, so I need to achieve that by May 2002. All right?
Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yes, big, hairy, audacious goals, that's the one. All right, so you're all right to do that together, and you can work together, and we'll just have if we've got time, we've got 10 minutes to have a really big think, all right? And if you'd like to put your name on there and today's date, please, ladies. Thank you.
Are you collecting them?
I'm not going to take them from you. We're going to photograph them if you want us to have them, but you don't have to